Next, the big surprise. I'm trying to just hit the high points here on this. Tony's in the ring with Arn Anderson. Tony even says, I've held the microphone for you on many occasions, Double A, and he pitches to Double A, and then Arn takes the microphone away from him. He's forgotten how to be interviewed. And Arn says the words, I'll get right to it. And the lights go out again. Prolonged. And this time, the lights go back up, and there is the artist formerly known as Aleister Black. His real name, as we've found out over the last few weeks, is Tommy End. And he hits Arn with that spin kick, and to Arn's credit, he took a nice little bump at his age.
Not only did he take a good bump, but the way he flipped the microphone up was perfect.
Yeah.
It looked great.
And then Cody appears instantly. It's like the lights have only been up for 10 seconds and Cody is in the ring already. And like, back up, telling him to get back. And of course, what happens? Aleister Tommy Black End or whatever the fuck, kicks Cody and knocks him colder than a banker's heart. But here's it was a great surprise, and the people didn't know he was coming, and they popped, and they got the loophole in his non-compete, so it was 30 days instead of 90. Great surprise. And Excrement pops up on commentary, and he actually said the word, that's Tommy End. But that man's not Tommy End. Did you hear that?
Yeah, no, Excalibur was clearly the least valuable player of this entire segment. God. He made no sense because he goes, that's Tommy End. I know him from years ago. And that's not Tommy End. That's Malakai. He didn't even know what the fuck. It made no sense.
And he also, in the middle of that, he had to say, I wrestled that man in Dusseldorf, Germany 15 years ago. Okay, number one. I'm about to say it again, except for the nerds that follow this shit like the Bible, which is everybody watching this program. Nobody is just watching a wrestling show is going to watch this show. But nobody believes that Excalibur used to be a wrestler because nobody's ever heard of him. When you say I wrestled this guy 15 years ago in Dusseldorf, Germany, well, that sounds like bullshit, even though it's really true. Because Excalibur was never a real wrestler, so they had to go on these fucking goof outlaw tours. And I'm sure he's wrestled somebody in fucking the Isle of Man also that nobody ever saw. But your announcer's job is not to equate the new star that's being debuted on the program that would have wrestled some outlaw goof that we don't even believe is ever really a wrestler in Dusseldorf, Germany 15 years ago. Get his name right. And here's the thing. JR had the line. He used it before. He doesn't even work here. That's what he could have. Remember when the original Midnight and Paulie jumped us and left us laying? They don't even work here. They were straight off ESPN, AWA television. People were shocked. Well, here, nobody knew this guy's non-compete was going to come up this quick. It's a surprise he's there. The people pop, and Excrement, Sockface, blows his name. It's Tommy End, but that man's not Tommy End, but it could be Malakai Black. And then poor JR has to say, well, Tommy End, whatever he's going to be called. Yeah, whatever fake name we're going to give this guy, once we decide what we're going to tell him to do. In the ring, it was a great debut. Outside the ring and on the announcing, it was a goddamn shit show. And not only that, but then once they completed that angle and Tommy End, Malakai Black, Aleister Black, whoever the fuck, he walks out, Cody and Arn are laying in the ring motionless, unconscious, and they got a wide shot. Not one person is rolling in to check on them. Not a referee, not a security guy, not a production assistant, not Doc Sampson. They're just laying there in an empty ring. That's how concerned people were with their health. Good fucking God. If he's going to have to change his name, you know what the announcers could have said, but JR could have said, well, he doesn't even work here. And Tony could have said, they could have just told Excrement, shut the fuck up while the grown folks are talking. And Tony could have said, are we even allowed to speak his name legally? My God, what's he doing here? and then let the guy come out next week and tell you what his fucking name is. God damn it. But I'm supposed to be taking a more reportorial, detached tone to this, aren't I?
If you watched it without commentary, it may have been one of the best debuts. It may have been the best debut in AEW. You got a crowd reaction, legitimate surprise, because no one knew he had a 30-day non-compete clause. Everyone
including the WWE office didn't know.
Including WWE. It's nice to see when they fuck things up. But it was a legitimate surprise. It looked great. Arn took the kick. The mic went up. Cody did all right. The guy looked really cool. But the commentary dragged it. And it's only about Excalibur. JR and Shivani did nothing wrong here. But Excalibur made it so that if you were watching, you had no idea what he was saying.
Anyway, explain to me, I was trying to zip through the commercial breaks, and I said, did they show footage from their YouTube program, or this was earlier today, or whatever the fuck? Ricky Starks jumped in the ring with his security because he's not medically cleared, but Taz was yelling at him, what the hell are you doing? Starks was going rogue because he's mad at Cage, Brian Cage, not Christian Cage. None of them can get along. Brian Cage hits the ring, beats up security. This was only clips. What was going on here? Does anybody care?
I am not exactly sure. I don't think it was from YouTube. It seemed like they were saying it was earlier tonight. And then we've seen again, they've handled Team Taz awfully. And specifically this Cage, Ricky Starks issue that just all of a sudden popped up after Ricky Starks, we thought, broke his neck. I mean, he's coming back, it seems like. I couldn't figure out what exactly was happening here. What was the point of this whole thing? What was this?
To make Team Taz look more sloppy and stupid and uncoordinated.
Is the idea that Ricky Starks has lost his mind?
I don't know. I don't have it. Maybe
Cage the babyface?
I'm not sure. Because Taz was not happy with Starks, which would mean that Starks should be the babyface. But maybe Taz is just being honest and not happy with any of them because he's been put in the middle of this mess and made to look like an idiot. Maybe that's why he's not happy. The next match, the Bunny and the Baker against Pockets and Chris Flatlander. Snack break. 11 minutes on national television for these four. Embarrassing. Moving on. Jungle Boy got a trophy for the first person to get 50 wins in AEW. And he was as emotionless as you would think over such a momentous occasion. It's almost like his lips moved at one point. Standing there posing for pictures with it.